and this is the next little episode in Hack the Saga. So it's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Salem, Oregon. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am at the Commons. This is outside of Selma. It had a really pretty little area out here. You can totally do events out here. But anyway, so what's new? Tons of things. Yeah, it's like okay. This is what I've been reading. I mentioned before that I read um, All the President's Men. Completely explains what's been going on. Just the dirty dealing. And I've been mentioning for a long time that I know that a lot of the targeting of me is political. And one of the things that I realized is that my friends, the friends who had stolen my work, they were doing writing for what Ann Nelson calls the Shadow Network. I picked this up at the Salem Library the other day, and this is, what is it? I'm sure the audio is probably not going to be very good at this, but anyway, it's basically, it connects, this is her intro. I'm just starting this. Let's see. This was published in 2019. I had read about it a little bit, but it basically, now I'm not going to be able to, since this is a library book, I can't mark it up like I would mine. But it basically connects the people who have influence with the people who have money, right? But the people who have influence, a lot of times they don't write their own words. Things that they say, they're not coming up with themselves. And so I'm pretty sure that my friends were the ones that were putting words in the mouth of the people that were being paid by what Ann Nelson refers to as the Shadow Network. I had seen it before, and I was calling it the syndicate because I was seeing the sock puppet syndicate, and all the shady stuff that they were going on and doing. So, not that I didn't know this. So here's the thing. When I have my Google Pixel phone that I know is being hacked, and I know that they literally, you know what I think they do? I think the GOP literally has like a brown shirt department where they basically have people on the list that they're set out to target and destroy. It really doesn't even have anything to do with elections. It's just like, that's people's job. That's what they do. So, pretty sure that they literally have a schedule about who's going to be sitting and hacking my Google Pixel phone. It's always particularly active on weekends because all the losers, they literally have nothing else to do other than sit and try and wait and see what I'm doing and trying to hack me. Dumbest thing ever. I was creating Bible study images. They shut down Affinity Publisher because, those Bible verses and Psalms are pretty scary. But anyway, so I had been talking about my Amazon account being jacked, like the royal, what I was seeing, it was almost like a recreated account because there were books missing, like the books that I had published for Ray McAllister, they don't get deleted off your bookshelf. They still sit there. Well, the account that I have access to is not, it doesn't have those listed. It also had another one that was never on my Effusion Media account, KDP account. It was on a personal one that was on there. So it looked to me to be like a recreated Amazon KDP account where somebody else probably has access and diverting royalties. I know that royalties are being diverted because I actually submitted a complaint to the Texas Attorney General's office in July of 2023. Yeah, I know. Ken Paxton is the Attorney General. Like, that's going to go anywhere. But anyway, already knew that was going on. So I had been looking at the royalty report by author. So when I looked at all authors for 2024, it was showing a certain number. When I started doing individually by author, it said nothing except for Charlotte Thomason, who I know has been part of the conspiracy. I published her book, her devotional Light in the Darkness. Yeah. I know, such friends, right? So anyway, I have pictures of that. And then I was I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I was looking at the same report again, and it was showing differently. It was showing like just one sale for the No Fear devotional, like in August or something like that, for me, and nothing else. And then all of the rest of the authors were showing as nothing. So I go to grab my phone, my Hack Google Pixel phone, and then when I go to grab it, the numbers change again. Then no author is showing anything. Can you believe this? So what does that tell you? If you know that your phone is being hacked and you have seen irregularities on your KDP account with Amazon, and you go to take a picture of those irregularities with the phone that you know is hacked, and suddenly those irregularities change to something else, what would be your conclusion about that? Oh, that maybe the same people that are hacking and stealing your royalties from Amazon are also the same people that are hacking your phone? Yeah, that would be my conclusion. And so then, was this last week? I might have already mentioned this. So much stuff happens. I have to like do voice notes and take notes like on my phone, because like literally there's a new act in this goat rodeo every single day. So then, I was at Kaiser Times, and this was, I guess, last week. I might have already mentioned this. I was at Kaiser Times, and Les Zates, the publisher, the legendary Les Zates, who is an investigative reporter that's actually really well known in Oregon journalism, he had asked to have an issue of the paper mailed to somebody. So, this is the thing. Things getting one place to another, just, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So I packaged it up, took a picture of it, and since I'm doing it on my phone, my Google Pixel phone, I'm emailing it to the email address I have access to at the Kaiser Times, so I can email it to Les. So it's coming from that, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, and nothing comes in, right? So I go back, and I take a screenshot of that email that was sent. So I have a timestamp of, when it was sent. And then I go back to the Kaiser Times email, and immediately it comes through. So keep in mind, this has been like 45 minutes before it comes through. So again, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? And I've mentioned, I can tell the Kaiser Times is being sabotaged. It tells me that the same people that are hacking me, that are diverting the royalties on, because it's basically they have to try to cut off any sort of income that I have, right? That's the goal. Any support, any income, any resources, they have to try to cut me off from. Same people are also the ones targeting Les Zates in the Kaiser Times, right? Because why else would you be afraid of, like, realize if there were different people sabotaging the Kaiser Times emails and blocking emails coming in, then they wouldn't care, right? It has to be the same people. So the same people, I'm sure they're doing this, like I mentioned, when I had called Les, I'm sure it was not him, diverting calls, intercepting them and diverting calls, same ones. I guarantee you, it's just that he and I are both on the list by these people, these 21st century Nazis that have to try to destroy and eliminate anybody that doesn't like feed into their little white nationalist agenda with this cult that is fronting as Christianity. Anyway, that's what I think it is. So hope you all have a great Sunday. I'm going to the TNT class, Salem Alliance. I'm going to be going to the 11 o'clock worship service. And again, I'm going to continue being me, and everybody else is going to continue not being me. I hope everybody else can actually be themselves, but if you can't, just know you can't be me.